day with those executions. I'm happy with the way I managed the positions. Definitely got no complaints. I do wish I got long here. This would have been a winning long scalp, but the session is young. I'm sure we got some time here. We'll get some more trades, and Ike is probably going to be coming on in 2 minutes. You guys excited to see Ike? He's a great trader, man, and he trades very much like this. So I do want to talk to him about kind of the style that I've been using, because he trades similarly, at least in the respective risk reward. And he's very simple. I know he uses like a 21 EMA. We'll talk about his strategy, I'm sure. We'll see how he's doing. I'm actually interested also to talk about Stoic with him. Stoic is a trading educator, and I've actually been looking into some of his stuff. You could tell he learned from ICT, but he's very price action oriented. Oh, here we go. We got Ike right here. Let me get him in here. Yo.
Hey, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Yo, what's up, man? Yeah. Thank you for coming on. Really grateful, man. How you doing?
Sure. Great. Good day. Good Thursday. Just trying to live,
That's what's
Another
up,
day
man.
in the markets.
You take any trades this morning?
Just took a little bit on my Top Step XFA because I didn't want to take any L's and then come on here and be a little bit all like, you know what I'm saying? So I have to keep the mental right if I'm going on.
Bro, I had to. I go through that 3 days a week, but I just say fuck it, dude.
Right. I'm sure I'll get there.
Yeah, these are my trades actually, though. I was just talking about them. I don't know if you were in yet. So a couple 1-to-1 scalps right here on these quick little shorts. I've been trading a lot like you lately, man, which it's funny because I've had a totally other style. Like for the last 3 years, I've always traded very high risk reward. So very low win rate. And I've always been transparent about that. Like I would have like a 25% win rate sometimes.
Wow.
But all on like from a daily perspective, like trading on a 1 minute time frame, I could be green by the end of the day most days. But the way I would see it is like I'll take a couple of paper cuts in order to get the right entry for this big move. And the math works, the risk reward works if you follow it. But I've been just finding a lot more joy in doing this the last couple of months.
I like having a high win rate too. It helps with your mental also a bit, and I'm happy with 1-to-1s, even less than 1-to-1 sometimes, those great big moves are amazing, but I'll never catch that. I'll know I can't hold it that long. I'll unless my internet goes out, there's no way I'm holding a like 50-point trade. I love it. I love to see it, but you got to also know who you are as a person and not set yourself up for failure. So if you as a trader are patient, you don't feel that jumpiness, whatever it is, okay, that's great. But if you're like a lot of traders, I think, who have a little bit of like a, jumpy mentality, you wait that long, you're going to get popped. And if you get greedy, you're going to get popped. So for me, I like taking my little scalps, 1-to-1s or even less, and passing and getting payouts. The trades might not be the prettiest to show people, but the payouts are. You know what I mean? So
100%. So actually, I want to get into kind of how you trade actually technically as well. Do you want to get your screen up? If you just go right below to present and just click share.
Okay, present, share screen. Okay, so I got you. I could share. All right. Do you see anything? Is that working?
Yep, you're in.
Okay, so this is pretty much just, my blank screen over here. I use 2 EMAs. I use the 7 and the 20. 20 I kind of use similar to like sometimes like a stop loss, like where I should put my stop loss. 7 I'd like to use almost as like an entry, like where I'll maybe put a buy limit or sell limit, because I really don't do market orders much. I usually let price activate for me. You know what I mean? So normally the way I'd get into a trade, I come to the chart, I'll go to the 30-minute to start. And I do this stuff, which pretty much is clowned on by the entire trading community, because it's just so simple and stupid that people be like, obviously that can't work. You need to have some SMTs, FVGs, QRSTs, unicorn, which, hey man, if that's your deal, I think every strategy is profitable. That's the first thing I want to say. It's like, I think if you're a good trader, you can become a good trader with any strategy. And I think because it's such a psychological thing, and the reason things become strategies is because people make money on them. So I'm not clowning at all on any strategy, but I am saying that you got to know who you are. So me, I'm not writing big notebooks. I'm not calculating different, fibs and this and that. Like for me, I keep it simple, simple, simple. I turn it into a 30-minute chart. I pretty much mark up the, candle touches or closures.
So
Then I
those are
drop
just
down.
the clear, like horizontal support and resistance lines. You're just seeing where there are some swing
Yeah.
lows, seem
You see
relevant.
like here, like you see like lots of closures around this one, like that's really all this is where my closure, where I'm seeing a lot of, support and resistance. I mean, that's really what this is, just support and resistance. And what I'm looking for once I get there is I drop down to the 5 or the 1, and I pretty much look for something to get either respected or broken. So in a case like this, especially because I'm feeling a little bit bullish, if I could get this candle to close above here, above the resistance, which would then turn support, I'd wait for the next candle to kind of just wick down, and then I'd put a buy stop on the top to ride it up.
Oh, okay. So if you're getting into buys, you like to do buy stops, because I
Yeah.
like to get in on limit orders, which sometimes it sucks, you miss the entry, but more times than not, I feel like I don't have the perfect entry. So if I
Sure.
put a couple ticks down,
Yeah, no, I do limits too. It all depends. So it depends where I guess the candle is. Because if let's say I go over here, let's say I was into, I see a closure above here, I would probably put a limit on the EMA over here, a buy limit over there. So it would end up getting activated here, and then I take it to the top of the range.
Got you. Okay.
So
It depends on the setup and the price action. You might get in on more stops.
It depends where we're going here. Like, so if let's say this whole candle already closed up here and there was another candle that was a little bit more action going, like here, I might have gotten popped. If I was liking the buy stop, I would have put a buy stop here, would have gotten activated. Truth is though, from 483 to 505, I would have taken profits by that, to be honest. Like, so I would have made money on this buy stop.
Yeah, that's actually a good question. Because I know you say sometimes you'll go with a negative risk reward. The main thing is you want to lock in profit. So when you're trading NQ, I have a couple of questions. Do you have an average stop loss size? Is it based off structure, or are you more like, because what I do, I just use 25-point stop loss. I think 100 ticks on NASDAQ with the volatility we've been having is just enough to capture a one-to-one pretty quickly. So I don't really worry about where the structure is. Some people might scoff at that, but I try and get a good entry, get in at the right spot, use 25-point stop loss and get in and out. But I'm interested how you do it.
Yeah, I usually do use structure. Like I would probably have something like this set up right over here, like almost buy on the break of the high, which, is what they tell you not to do. You don't buy high, but I buy high and I sell higher is the plan. And I would normally do something like, especially with this candle respecting over here. Now I might put a buy stop here. I'm copy trading over here. Let's do it. Why not?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've been eyeing the chart, thinking like, I kind of want to get long right here.
So here I'm gonna put in a buy stop.
Let's see it. Ike in action, people.
It didn't. I missed it by a second. Hold on. Let's see. I can get back in it. Let's see.
You got
buy stop. 1. Okay, so let's do a little buy stop here, and we'll see if we get activated.
Yeah. Well, and the best part about about stop orders is if you don't get activated and it falls right to where your stop loss was, kept you out of the trade. So
exactly,
it's a confirmation.
So I wonder if I could share my. Can I share my?
Your prop firms? Yeah, you can.
Yeah, my NinjaTrader window.
Yeah, you might need to get rid of this window if you only shared like the tab, but you could do share and tab screen and then just flip back and forth if you want.
See, like on this, I'm copy trading over here. So really, if I get to like 150, 250, something like that, seeing how structure goes, I would take profits.
You're trading the minis and you're copy trading. What account sizes are you using? So do you have some XFAs right now?
I have one XFA, which that I'm not that here. Let's see. Can I just switch this? Did my screen switch? Oh no, I see. So right now what I'm copy trading is on Apex and Elite and Bullnox. So those are
all three firms together.
All three firms together. So I with evals, I like to try to pass my evals really in a day or two because I know a lot of people say, which I believe is right for beginners, that you should treat your evals kind of like your real account, the way that you trade. And I hear that philosophy, but I think that once you're trading and you're profitable, you really don't want to get emotionally attached or invested in something. And when you spend too much time on an XFA or on an eval, once it becomes funded, you're so like nervous and scared and whatever, because it took you 2 weeks, 3 weeks to pass it, that you're almost not really trading the way you should. So what I like to do is almost not care about my eval. Where like you need to get funded. And again, this is once you've got a strategy that you believe in, that you're profitable. It's not when you're first starting. See, in a situation like this, let's see, where are we on now? 11:30. I'll probably give it until the 15-minute closes here before I decide to cancel. See, so this is the 5-minute chart. So we could have another fake out like we did here, but we'll see. If the 5-minute close is below the range, I'll just get out. Also, if the price comes all the way down here, I'll just close out.
Yep.
But otherwise, I'm letting it sit. And plenty of times my trades don't get activated in a day. You know, I might get into 2 or 3 trades in a day, but I might place 14 or 15 limit or stop orders that just never get filled. You know,
I've heard you. I think it was on Patrick's podcast, or when you were talking to him, maybe it was Austin. I don't know, but I remember you saying something like, sometimes you're relieved.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah.
all right, what?
Yeah. Like, all right, man. Like, you know, it's like, you know, it's all in like trading really is about the way that you're seeing the money, really, you know, because if you're nervous about the money, you're not going to trade right. If you get too hyped, you're not going to trade right. You know, if you're trying to catch a million moves or a certain amount of points, you're not going to trade right. You know, like in a case like this, I'm going to just cancel this trade because it never got activated, which also saved me money because I almost got activated over there before, you know, so.
No,
you know,
that's a huge thing for me, man, is switching, because I used to get in at market always, and using stops and limit orders has really, it's been so helpful.
Yeah. It could get frustrating when you cancel an order like this and all of a sudden the price goes running up. It could get frustrating, but it's really about the times that, you know, it's really the losses hurt you a lot more than the wins help you oftentimes, you know?
100%.
So I'd rather not lose than, you know, miss out on a win, I guess you could say.
So you're trading minis. What account sizes do you usually trade? Like, what do you got right now? Are you
50Ks? They're all 50K. Here, let me see if I could trade. So I stop and then I present.
Yeah. And then
share the whole screen.
Yeah, that'll work.
So entire screen. All right, let me move this out of the way. Okay, so now you see my whole screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here you see what I'm trading right now. I've got so I've gotten payouts on these 4 PAs. And I picked up a few more when I lost. These are bull knocks. These are new PAs I have like for like the last day or two. And this is an elite funded trader where I need to get to $2,600. So another 500 in profit over here in order to take a payout over there. And then here I have a 50K XFA where I'm, you know, up $1,100 over, you know, pretty much just the last 2 days, I think.
Nice.
You know, really just yesterday and the day
So
before.
You're using Top Step X for Top Step. You know,
yeah.
Man, I wish I did that, because I recently activated a couple of XFAs. I've been trading them, and I didn't realize that I still have a daily loss limit because I'm using Trateavate, not using Top Step.
Oh, gotcha. Right. So you
I got a daily loss limit, and on the 50Ks, that's really tough, man. I have that 1K daily loss limit. I can't get away with trading minis, especially with my 25-point stop loss. 2 trades and I'm, you know.
What I like to do, like this is here. This one's a combine right here. This is a 100K combine, which I just started also. What I like to do oftentimes is I'll have for a combine, I'll do like a 900, 300 almost risk reward over here just for quick scalping, because in a combine, I just want to get my hits and get funded so I could trade normally. So like a case like this, I mean, look, let's give it a shot. It's just a combine here. Put a buy stop here if this breaks.
Yeah, I'm considering getting into a long here and trying one myself as well.
Yeah, I'm liking the longs, but it's also kind of playing with us to a point where it almost makes me feel like they're trying to trick me, you know?
I do agree. Like, if we got actually a sweep down and then recovered, I would like that even more. But I do think we're so close to the high that I'm sure I could capture 100 ticks if I get the right.
What strategy do you normally trade? Do you do like like an ICT type or?
So I trade ICT like foundationally. I mean, I use fair value gaps, and I use just the concepts of, you know, liquidity in the form of old highs and lows. Like, if we go back to my screen real quick, you know, and I really try not to overcomplicate it, because I understand that it can be annoying. But like, for example, little thing like this, I didn't take this long, but I really wanted to. I like seeing a sweep of a low if I'm looking for a long, but we don't displace below it, just little things like that. And then, for example, we got this inversion right here. So there was a bearish fair value gap. I really like trading the inversions. So you see right there, it's been respected pretty well so far.
Yeah.
So if I was ready to take a trade, I would have taken this for sure. It would have been in and out on a scalp. But yeah, I use ICT, but I am a little different because I also use volume profile. That's a really big component of my my system, which is less used by a lot of people, but it's something that I learned pretty much like my first year that I started trading. And it's like the only thing that, other than ICT, that has been consistent all along. Like I remember when I sucked at trading, but just using volume profile really helped me stay alive for a little while, because it's a really helpful tool. So like we have the previous day's point of control right here. I use the previous day's value areas. So there's 3 levels that make up a volume profile in that context: the previous day's value area high, the value area low, and the point of control. The point of control is the level that had the most volume transacted for that current day. So I can use that in a couple of different ways. Obviously, it can be used as like a classic support and resistance level at times. In other times, it can be used as like a directional bias. So I've also noticed that we draw towards that point of control very often because there's a lot of volume there. And also just simple bias, right? So if we're trading, like today, we've been trading below the previous day's point of control all day. So I've actually been leaning into more of a short bias. Now we had this crazy pop up here, but I don't know if that means we're going to make it all the way back up, to the overnight session highs. Like this might actually be a great spot for a short entry for like a bigger move. But again, I'm trading short-term momentum. So I'm happy to take my little longs here as I'm following the momentum. But yeah, I use ICT foundationally, but just the basics, fair value gaps and liquidity is really, those are the main components.
Yeah. I when I first got into trading, I did mess with like learning some ICT or some MentFX.
Like SMC, ICT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I did kind of, but like I said about like knowing yourself is like, I realized like I'm not smart enough for that. Like, it's just like,
listen, I overcomplicated the shit out of it for a long time. And a lot of people get caught up in that trap. Everybody.
And, I think it's also a lot is like, everyone wants to be good at something, right? Like, so you want to be good at something. All of a sudden you learn something, you're like, oh, I can't just be simple, because then I'm not proud of myself. You could say maybe like, oh, I'm not so
100%.
like, so you want to like feel like, oh, I know what I'm doing. So you overcomplicate stuff to just feel like you're really doing work, but really you're running in circles. You're not really doing, like, the name of the game for me has always been to get payouts here, not to be the best trader, not to be, just to know every month I'm making some money from trading. That's always been my game,
Yeah, no, that's become my game the last year. And that's what I think has really helped me. I think a lot of people gamify the process. And for a lot of people, if we're honest, like trading is just a pure hobby. It's something they put money into, and they want to make money out of it, but it's a hobby. And they'll treat it like a game in the sense that I do want to call the market to a tick and to a T. But, if you're trying to, I completely agree with your mentality. if you want to make money doing this, you really should. Overcomplicating things just really doesn't help in trading.
Right.
Really
it's like, and 95% of traders fail, and 95% of traders are doing what? They're checking every different thing. They've got a million different ways that they're trying to like call the market. They want the full move. They want to like get in at the sniper entry, but 95% fail. So if you want to be part of that 5%, that means you shouldn't be calling the full move. You shouldn't be getting that sniper entry. You shouldn't be checking on 5 different things. Like, because, but it's like, your brain is like trying to tell you like, no, you can't make money that simply. You have to work hard. You know what I'm saying? It's like a real mental trick, which the book, The Biggest Loser, Best Loser Wins, was a book that really changed my mentality for trading. And I think it's I recommend it to anyone who says like, who's kind of struggling, but they seem to understand what they're doing. The issue is that the market always makes perfect sense after it plays out, right? Like,
Mindset.
and you're like, oh, and that makes you think like I could learn it, because you're like, oh, now I see what, oh, now I see you went down to grab that bottom liquidity, which you called out before.
Well,
Like,
bro,
just like you said, you see, you
bro,
can learn
do
this. So.
you remember, right, when you were first learning like trading strategy videos? I remember watching these, and these, these traders would talk about things in hindsight and like, look at this EMA, see how it bounced down. And I remember like when I was first learning, showing my girlfriend this and just being like, I'm going to do this. Like, look how easy that is.
Right.
You really do that. Like, it makes sense in the moments. But I want to answer this question from the chat for Curtis. And then
Sure.
I do want to, real quick, before we answer that, the one other thing about scalping that I've realized, and not looking for the whole move, for me, I've just realized that I think there's a lot more edge in anticipating the next 15 minutes of price action versus the next 2 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
I just find a lot more edge in that moment of anticipating the lower time frame action, as opposed to trying to predict what's going to happen for the entire day, because, and that's how I used to trade. But the problem with that is something could look really good at first and it could start looking good. But as more candles print, you're getting more information, and the information is changing rapidly, which is changing the potential outcome of your analysis or your idea.
Sure.
Whereas, I'm not going to have much time for my analysis to change on a 1 minute time frame where I'm trying to anticipate the next, 5 to 15 minutes. But yeah, so that was a big change for me. But yeah, Curtis is asking, why 50K accounts? What is the main reason or benefit versus a 150K or a 300? Apex has 300Ks.
So the reason why I think a lot of people you see online trade 50Ks is because the profit risk to drawdown ratio is the best over there. Meaning, like, if you do a 150K on Top Step, I think you have to get 9K, but you can only go and draw down, like, is it 3K or 35 or 4,500, something like that. It's not very equal. Where with Apex and lots of things like that, it's pretty much 3K profit to 2,500 drawdown, which gives you the opportunity to try to make a big, beat the challenge in 1 or 2 nice trades, where, because it's similar to a 1-to-1. When you have to go 3-to-1, 4-to-1 to pass your challenge, it's harder to pass. First of all, it could take longer. You might spend more money doing it. Plus, if you're making your consistent payouts, who cares if I'm trading one contract? I'm trading it on a 50K or 150K the same way. So if I'm profitable, I can still make that much money on the 50K as I would with the 150, but easier to get there. You know what I'm saying?
Easier to get it. Yeah, I completely agree, especially with firms like Apex. I think with firms like Top Step, I understand using the 150Ks because you're going to get more drawdown. But I think firms like Apex, where you can trade 20 accounts, I think the 50Ks are definitely the way to go. All right, I just got filled on a long idea. Let me place my stop. I'm giving it a shot. We're risking some profits here. This was an immediate loss. Holy shit. I didn't even
you got to stop.
Oh my God. Yep. I just got. Yeah.
You see, so what I was looking at, if you look at my screen on that trade, I did like a long, but because of this candle respected support, and I did kind of like when this candle went up. But the thing is, with a big wick fill here, I'm always nervous about wick fills. Like they often do get filled. So what I would do is maybe wait to see if it would get filled or miss out on the trade, and then maybe put a buy stop like on the flip of this candle now. You know what I mean? Like
100%. Yeah. To be fair, I think I'm still down to scout along for sure. One of the reasons, I don't know if you use any of this stuff. I'm going to go to my screen one more time real quick.
Yeah.
The initial balance. Do you use that?
What the which one?
The initial balance. Are you aware of the initial balance?
No. What is that?
So the initial balance is just the first hour range of the New York session. So 9:30 to 10:30 a.m. We talk about this a lot on ASFX because we have statistics through Edgefold, which is that data platform we use.
Yeah.
Roughly for the last 6 months, especially, if we get a break of either side of the initial balance on the ES and the NQ, it's been roughly like 80% of the time that we don't break the opposing side. And this is data also, like for the last 5 years, it's been like that for 75% of the time. So this is my initial balance from here to here. We got a break of the high. Mm-hmm. So when we get these pullbacks down, I'm actually more interested in still looking for a long. It's just a way to fuel the long bias, because it is now way less likely that we are coming all the way down here. Now, there's not a trade in that in itself, but it just helps me stick to a certain directional bias.
Yeah, it
You know, I don't
gives like
like
a confluence, I guess.
yeah, it's just a confluence. I notice when I start trying to fade the initial balance, I lose more trades than I win. So yeah, I'm going to stick to a long bias for the time being. But maybe we go a little bit lower here towards the like 50% retracement. We'll see. We also have previous day's value area low right there at 346. But yeah, let's go to your chart. Are you getting into something?
I had a buy stop here, but wasn't coming up. But another thing that I see also is, you know, Stoic, SBS by
Dude, I
Stoic.
wanted to ask you about Stoic. I'm actually glad you just reminded me because
Yeah. So
go
it's
for it.
such a it's a great little tool which I use mainly as a confluence or to keep me out of a trade, you know. But like here, what I would see did I lose? Oh, okay. What I see here is kind of like, I guess they call it like a Quasimodo. I'm not sure what the name of the what's it called is the you know, the pattern, but it's pretty much this pattern where you kind of get a high, a small pullback, break that high, then break that previous pullback, maybe a little chop,
So
chop, chop,
the
and then you
1,
come
2,
back.
3, 4, 5, right?
Yeah.
That's
So
the
this would be the six. So this is kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So technically with Stoic, I might, if I was in a bearish, if I was feeling bearish also, I might then say, hey, you know what? I like this to come all the way down and break that 3. So now if I look at my support and resistance, you see we're now breaking down into here. So if I get a closure below, especially with Stoic's confluence, I might wait for this candle to close in 23 seconds, pull up a little bit, and then go back down. But look what's going on here.
dude. I see. I knew I missed it. I missed the long.
But this is why I don't jump into stuff, because I don't, you know, I'm not in a rush to get my payout. If I know my payout's building and I'm making money and I've got, you know, 10, 15 accounts or whatever it is, you know, that means you could pull out 10K, 20K a month, you know, off those accounts. Like there's no rush on it. You know what I mean?
100%.
So look, but you see price respected and now it's going bullish again. So this is
I
another
gotta
point of where,
go to my screen real quick. I'm
yeah.
gonna take this money real quick.
Oh, you're in a, oh, nice. Whoa. Hey now.
And we out. We out.
Very nice. That's awesome.
Nice scalp. So that was 2R. So we made back the 1R loss. That time I took 2R. But really, to be fair, I just didn't have time to set an order. I would have took 1R by the time to set it.
So yeah, for me right now, there's still not much for me to do because I'm kind of stuck in, you know, I wait for the candle closures and I'm pretty much stuck in this range. I need a closure out of the range or like some type of better respect over here, like a candle closing right over here where I can ride it back up, something like that. So right now, in a case like this, this is my XFA, this is my combine right here. This is a 100K combine. So, I mean, I would like to take a little trade. I really would like to like ride this down. Let's see.
So now you are looking towards the Stoic sequence that might paint a short, right?
Yeah, I'm looking like Stoic is helping me here with a short. Plus, I see price again respect the resistance on top over here. So I also like the wick fill down here. We got a wick fill that could happen. So right now I've got pretty much a little sell limit over there. Sell stop, nice. I mean.
Sell stop.
And this is on an X. This is a 100K combine. Started trading it today. And, you know, I scalp my way through these combines. You know, I'm not catching these big trades oftentimes. I'm usually scalping my way through.
The top step, because you don't have that 1 day pass.
You don't have the trailing drawdown, right? Exactly.
Yeah, and so you do have to kind of trade somewhat properly when you got to do it in 2 days. Like with Apex, bro. To be fair, I've never gotten paid out from Apex. I've had a couple of sets of PAs. I haven't traded with Apex in probably a year because I just couldn't get paid out with them. Not because of really anything. I mean, the intraday trailing drawdown was tough for me at the time because I wasn't scalping. I was trading that high risk reward system. So Apex was very hard for me. But
yeah,
the 1 day passes are great. So that's why I really liked my funded futures. I trade with them quite a lot because you do have the 1 day pass.
With who?
My funded futures.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've gotten payouts through with my funded futures, Top Step, all like the big guys, but and Apex. But the thing I love about Apex is those 20 accounts, because it really makes, I think my last payout with Apex was like 15,000, but really I was only getting a $500 payout from each account, but 15 accounts,
Yeah.
adds up
So
over there.
actually, what do you think is the easiest firm to get paid out from? Because for me, it's 100% Top Step.
I was about to say Top Step for sure.
Top Step
So look here,
yeah.
see, I'm in this little,
Cool.
we'll see what's happening here. Got a little,
All right, you got filled. Let's go.
little whackiness going on. We'll see what happens. See,
It's
I
moving fast right now, bro.
yeah, I don't know what just happened here. It was like, and look, here with these, with this account, if I got taken out, I get taken out, but it's, that's just part of the, getting the combines, like I said, once I have a combine, I trade very differently, but, in the beginning, like, that's why I'm not taking this trade on my,
It's funded.
on my fundeds, right? Like, I don't mind taking an L on my combines or anything like that, because it's kind of what they're for. But
100%.
this is 100K, so I have a little bit more drawdown here. But looks like we're gonna get.
Man, this happened to me on my first trade.
Yeah, listen.
The exact same thing happened to me.
There we go.
You got another one. You got another one in.
I mean, look, yeah, this one I just started trading today. I made 1,300. I'm still up 400 on there, but that's how it goes. But right now, I'm still waiting on my to trade my fundeds. As you see, I haven't taken any funded trades today, except for on my elite, this little one.
How do you like Elite? That's one of the firms.
I don't like them, to be honest.
Okay, yeah, I don't hear much about them, to be honest.
They really don't have anything that's special about them. You need 10 $200 days to get paid out. They have a consistency rule with that. Their activation fee is either $80 a month or $360 one time. So it's a whole bunch of things like you're like, well, why am I even with all these other firms? Like, why am I messing with them? So I bought this when they're having their 90% sale, and I didn't look into what the, really the rules. I figured all the rules are kind of similar,
Yeah.
But so I don't like them. I'm hoping to get a payout here on this. I need another $500 and I can request a payout, but I haven't gotten a payout yet with them, and but only because I haven't been able to request it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, Austin just mentioned in the chat, I think with that volatility came from some Trump talk. Tariffs on Mexico for you. Yep.
Look, now I'd be in the money over here.
I'm getting tired of trading in a Trump presidency, bro.
Dude,
my trades get screwed up all the time from that guy.
For real, I just need to have a bigger stop loss, I guess, because like now I'd be in the money over here on that account. But man,
I mean, maybe it still might play out. So are you quick to get back in after a loss, or do you like to like?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with getting back in.
Same.
Sometimes I just question myself to make sure I'm getting back in because I see a trade, not because I'm feeling froggy. You know what I'm saying? But
it could be a slippery slope sometimes.
Right.
Curtis says this is very good insight, by the way.
I don't see a chat. I don't see the chat. Could I see it, or I can't see it?
It's through ASFX TV only, unfortunately.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So if you have an account with ASFX, you can log in and see the chat.
Well, yeah. I mean, any questions on the trading? I've been doing this now.
Any questions for Ike? If you got anything, this is the time.
I've been doing it.
He said
for 3 years.
It
took me like probably about a year and a half to get consistent, and now pretty much since April, I've been getting payouts with futures. Before that, I was getting payouts through the CFD. I've had like Alpha Capital and all of those accounts until MetaTrader 5 disappeared. But damn, look at that.
Austin says we'll get you an account if you want to come back anytime.
Yeah, for sure. I'd love to.
Yeah. But okay, so actually that's a good question. So you've been trading 3 years. How long did it take for you to get your first payout?
First payout probably took about 2 years, I would say.
That's about me too.
Yeah.
Same thing, man. I started
the first
trading.
year or so I was losing. Then for about a half a year, I found like where I wasn't losing, but I wasn't winning. You're like, you'd have 3 good days and you'd have a bad 2 days, and you felt like you were really close to being there, but you just weren't there yet.
100%. Did you have is tilt a big issue for you? Like, do you was it, and then you fixed it? Is it still an issue? How is tilt for you? Because from my experience, most traders can find winning trades like 4 out of 5 days of the week. They can be green most of the time, but there's just that one day they give it all back. And that was my issue for a long, long time. I fixed it by having built-in daily stop limits. That's the only way, because bro, even now I don't have the, I can't stop myself from tilting without an exterior thing stopping me. And that's just, I know that now. I know that about myself. So I have to have those in place.
When I start feeling that I'm going to go on tilt, like maybe I took 2 L's or something like that, or price like right away went to where I wanted to after stopping me out, similar like here. But, but like if I have like money on it, I might just go outside, have a, smoke a quick L and take a quick poop, and I'll feel all better. You got to just get out of the, it's like, you got to get out of the trading world for a second, and then you get your mind back. But like, yeah, you have like, I'd have to like, I trade at work. So sometimes at work, I'll catch it. I'll miss a trade, or I'll lose a trade because I wasn't watching it because I was working. And if I get like, start feeling that type of way, I'll just get up, I'll go walk outside, take a minute, and, and then remember that, hey, you're still up, you still get payouts, this and that, and not to take it. And part of being a trader is like having no rear view mirror. You need to forget about it. You need to not hold anything. And that's why that book, The Best Loser Wins, it's about being a good loser. If you're a good loser, you come back to fight the other day. If you're not a good loser, you're going to give everything back in one day, which I've done. And I think everyone done. And even every successful and profitable trader probably still does every now and then. It just happens, like,
definitely.
Like sometimes it happens out of boredom. You'll be at home and you'll be bored. You pull up the chart and you're like, oh, I think I see something. You move your stop loss twice, and all of a sudden, before you know it, you give everything back,
100%, man. Do you have a YouTube channel, they're asking?
It's like I randomly put stuff up. I'm not but it's Forex Ike. Everything. My Twitter is Forex Ike. Cool. I do put little like things on TikTok just because it's easier to record on there, where you'll see me like screen record and take a trade from the beginning to the end on there on TikTok. And I do want to start getting into live streaming. It's just finding the time of day and things like that. Because
for the whole New York session most of the time.
Yeah, normally like I work in an office on Wall Street, and normally I'll have my screen open. One window will just be TradingView, and which I trade through TradingView, and I'll trade throughout the day pretty much until 4 p.m. or so. Just like but if I have some good days though, if I take some good trades early by 9, 10, 11 a.m., I'll be done for the day. I'm not going to keep trading.
So that's actually a big thing that I could definitely touch on too. And I'm sure you probably agree with this. I think trading is gambling. Personally, it's gambling. Now, the cool thing about trading is that you can really actively manage your risk, but it is gambling. And at the end of the day, the house always wins the longer you stay there, right? So This has been a big thing for me. Like, if I can make my money in the first couple of hours, I do one of two things. I'm either going to stop there, because I know if I found edge for a small amount of time and then made money, I need to keep it, because if I keep going, the house will ultimately win. So I could either stop completely, or I had a JD Adastra on, he's an ICT guy, a really knowledgeable trader. And he talked about the way he manages his funded accounts. He copy trades, he'll trade baskets of accounts, but not everything at once. And he uses a strategy he calls risk sinking. So if he'll have one basket of accounts, right? And he'll take maybe 2 attempts at a trade. If it wins, cool. He's going to lock that set of accounts up, move to the next. If he loses 2, he's still going to lock that set of accounts up. And then he could still continue to trade, but he's moving the risk over, and just spreading out.
That. Yeah.
I think it's really, really smart. I've been doing it myself, and it's a way to, if you want to keep trading, if you think there's still opportunity, you can keep trading, but you don't need to risk all your profits on that day. And I think psychologically, it's probably very helpful, right? Like, let's say you make 500 in the morning and then you trade PM session, but you move over to a different set of accounts and you lose 500. Yeah, you were break even, but you still were able to capture some profits. So psychologically, it's probably really helpful too.
Yeah. And that's something I do too, is if I get an account to pay out, like it's at payout level, I'll stop trading that account and just trade the other ones, where even if I take an L on the day, losing $3,000 in simulated profits is okay when you're getting a $2,700 deposit that you could request that day. You know what I mean? Like I say it a lot on online too. It's like you can be a great trader or you can be profitable. Like I don't need to be the great trader that needs to be green across all my accounts. If I get some of my accounts into green and payout, and let's say I blew 3 accounts, but I'm going to get a $7,000 payout that day in cash, that's a win. You know what I mean? And going to the gambling 100%. Like I know a lot of people want to fight, and it's part of that whole thing where you want to feel like you're good at something, so it can't be gambling. But if I bet on a team that wins 75% of the time, what's the difference between taking a trade that works out 75% of the time? You're playing the numbers and you're risking money to hopefully win money, right? So it's like it's of course it is gambling. Now, like you said, it's like poker could be gambling. You could do everything right in poker and the wrong cards will come out on the river and screw you. Same thing. I could do everything right in trading and Trump could tweet and screw me. So but that's just part of the game is also knowing. But I like that idea of, because I usually trade all my accounts at once, but I have been thinking recently where, it would be great to just maybe cut them into baskets of five at a time and trade 5, take a couple trades, go trade another 5,
Yeah. I mean, like all methods work, right? Because if you want to trade all of them at once, the cool thing with that is you could trade very small size and, stack them up, and your payout is going to be much larger, because the game of prop firms is not about, like you said, being the best trader. The game of prop firms is having more money come in than the money you're putting out in the form of buying challenges. That's really what the game of prop firms is. And it's very different. I've been trading a personal account recently, it's funny, man, because you might be the same. I grew up on prop firms. When I started trading crypto, and I had a personal account for maybe 6 to 8 months. Then I found Forex prop firms and just went right to there. So all of my understanding of trading is through this lens of prop firms. And I've been trading a personal account as well on the side, and it's different. It's different. I can't risk 10% of my account in one shot. It just doesn't make sense. With prop firms, it's fine because maybe I spent $300 to get that money. It's a different mentality.
What I've been doing is on my Twitter, I set up here. I'll show you. I'm filling it out, but what I did was put a spreadsheet for March where I'm going to track all my expenses for my prop firms versus payouts coming in. So you can kind of see what I paid in prop firms this month so far, March. Put down the data of like what I'm spending. I didn't buy anything in Apex yet. I paid for 4 Tradeify Advanced 50Ks, which I haven't traded yet. I'm waiting for PPI, actually. I'm going to try to pass it on one candle. XFA, that's the one that you saw me just trading. Actually, I need to put in another one for that 100K one. Activation fee, I have 2 Tick Trader accounts also right now as well. So what I'm trying to do is put in everything that I'm doing here so everyone can always track it, see what the real life behind getting a payout and what it costs and everything. Because, probably the money I'm putting in March, I won't see profit on that money back until April, I would think. Yeah. But this way people could really see like what, this is like what I started March with. So I just kind of am breaking down a little bit of like what it's like, what it really is like being trading prop firms, and like not to believe the hype sometimes that you see someone just always getting payouts. Like there's more to it behind that. You know what I mean? So
are you familiar with Brian Stonk?
Yeah, sure. I'm a fan of his. I like him. I know him and PW are fighting right now, but
well, you know what, man? You know what I realized with the PW beef is that it's beneficial for both parties, because if you're trying to grow your audience, sometimes I think it might be like rapper beef, bro. Like maybe PW like hits him up and he's like, "Yo, you want a beef?" Who knows?
I mean, I think of it like WWE. It's like,
hey, man, it makes the space more interesting for me. It's fun. It's fun to watch. But Brian Stonk, he was transparent about what he spent on challenges last year, and he withdrew a crazy amount of money. I think he withdrew like $700,000 from prop firms, but he spent like $150K on evaluations. Right. So a lot of people were clowning him, and I'm like, bro, this guy made like over triple his investment.
Yeah.
And you're only going to make that kind of money probably by putting that kind of money in. You're not going to make that kind of money by putting $10,000 in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, if you spend $50,000 a month in prop firms, but you get paid out $65,000 a month, that's a W for me all day. That's 15,000 a month. How could you complain about it? Now, I'm sure there are people who like try hedging and things like that. That's a different type of deal. I don't mess with that. I play by the rules because I don't want to lose. I don't want to lose the right for prop firm. So I always stick to the rules, nothing like that. But for people, lots of people, I think there's that guy, Farming Futures, Future Farmer, something like that. He, I think, made like 120,000 last month, but he spent like 25,000 in evals.
Yeah.
So I mean, but still, that's $100,000 profit. Like, how could you know what I'm saying? Like, how could anyone knock that?
I mean, where
and
else?
look, you see Stoic's SBS. You see how it kind of worked out over there, right? Like,
yeah, it did. Yeah, the analysis.
Pretty cool, right?
100%, man. So I mean, I've been seeing Stoic for a while on the feed, and I saw that you do use some of his concepts. So I was a little curious. It's been a long time since I sat down and watched like trading strategy videos, because I kind of, I have my method. I know what I want to do. So I don't want to muddy it up too much, but I was interested, and I was watching some of his stuff, and yeah, it looks valid. It looks really interesting. I could tell too. I know he likes to talk some shit on ICT, but I got a feeling he learned a little bit from ICT, because his concepts, there is a lot of similarities. Like even that sequence that you just talked about, there's a sweep of liquidity in my eyes, through my lens on that. I guess that's the third or the fourth part of the sequence. Like you're taking out an old high or low, and then continuing the trend, which is something I use. But yeah, Stoic, he definitely, I like how he just focuses on market structure though.
Yeah, no, it's great. And it's a great confluence. I mean, that trade that I took, if not for that crazy tweet, I guess, candle, it worked out. It would have worked out perfectly. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm a big fan of SBS, but I usually use it in confluence with what I want, because you could literally see this happening everywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, even like on a smaller level, you could kind of see it like here. It's pretty much like on a smaller time frame, that would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost up to the 6 over here. But you see, it's like you see this pattern all over the place. So if you take it every time, you will get cooked. You have to take it when it's agreeing with your overall strategy.
Correct.
So like
Bias.
here, we had the closure below my range. This would have been a perfect, after this closure, this would have been a perfect entry to just fill the range down. I'd be out of it. I would have gotten into this trade something like, it would have looked like probably like that, above resistance, and the other way around. The other way around.
Yeah. No, I figured.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, man.
Like it would have looked something like this if I got into that trade.
Yeah, speaking of this price action, we can go to that real quick. Oh, and also, yeah, Doug agrees with us on the daily loss limit. He's saying it's tough. Most of the time, that's what happens when you blow up. Yeah, that is really the case for a lot of traders. But so talking about this price action right here, what do you think now? Because I'm not going to lie, my initial balance stat, I'm starting to think we could get one of those rare days where we double break it. If we go to my chart real quick, I mean, we broke the high, and now we're almost back down to the low. Now, if we get a strong bounce play here and maybe like a market structure shift on a lower time frame, maybe I would think about continuing a long bias, but I don't want to get involved in any kind of longs down here.
Right.
Personally.
Yeah, I'm feeling the same way looking at it. Is it kind of, for me, the only thing to do right here is really to wait. Like I have to like let it present itself, and which is another thing with a lot of traders, is they look at a chart and within 2 minutes they're ready to they're in a trade. You know what I mean? Like they always see something. There's always an opportunity. And so when I first started trading, what I like to picture it is like almost like you're a hunter or a sniper. You've got 2 bullets and you're waiting for your thing. You're not going to just like, oh, I'm getting bored, I'm going to just shoot randomly and hopefully get what I want. You're waiting for what you're looking for. And until you see that, you just have to wait, because you only have 2 bullets. So if you go with that mentality, even though here it's like tempting you to take a short to at least come to these equal lows, right? Like you would think it would at least come down here, which it probably will. You're not going to just jump into it, because you're waiting for something that makes sense over here. And I need to see a couple candle closures with so many red candles. I have to see some type of structure start being formed before I could really get into something,
Yeah, no, completely agree with that. Completely agree. Do you give yourself like a trade limit Like, do you take like only 3 to 5 trade ideas a day, or is it, more fluid? Like it's up to
No,
the day.
it ends up being coming out to something like, anywhere between 2 to 5 trades that actually get activated. But I'll usually trade until, from when, if I could, I also don't trade if I'm in a rush, if I've got stuff going on. So if I've got stuff going on in the house, like in the morning, I got 2 little kids, a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. So it's like when I'm giving them breakfast, even though sometimes I'll look at my phone and be like, ooh, this looks like I could take it. I'm just not, because like, then you get mad at yourself if you lose. And one of the main things I try to do with trading is, if you promise yourself not to piss yourself off, don't get mad at yourself. You won't be upset. Like, I don't mind losing a trade. I mind losing a trade when I go against what I was thinking and push myself into a trade. Like that trade we just lost, which anyway was a combine, so it doesn't bother me really anyway. But it did I would have taken that trade every other day. I didn't jump into that trade because I just wanted to get into a trade. So I don't feel bad about it in any way. If I jumped into that because I'm like, let me just get something out because, I'm live streaming, it'll be fun, let me get something out, and then I lost, I would be mad at myself. I'll be like, dude, so it's like, it's self-love.
Oh, our boy. So we're going to be wrapping up soon. We got a few more minutes. If you guys have any more questions for Ike, definitely hit them now with the questions. Thomas, he streams with us on ASFX TV. He just took a short. I'm going to pull up his markup. He said he caught a short. Let me know if you guys could see this on the chart. We've been having some issues where our charts just kind of disappear for a moment, but hopefully you guys can see this. It's a nice short though. He was like a break-in retest of New York VWAP. Do you use VWAP at all?
No, just the EMAs. I really just use 7 and 20. And 20 I kind of started using really because I saw Stoic using it. So it kind of helps with his kind of stop loss and entry model. But really it's just EMA and support and resistance,
Nice. For me, guys, I'm going to be, at least for bias, I think it's hard because I really hate these days where we do break the IB and now we're all the way down at the lows. But I'm going to use this fair value gap as kind of my line in the sand. That's a big thing I like to do, is mark out what I think is the most key level for the current price action, and then just give myself a line in the sand. Like if we stay below this level, I'll stick to a short bias to take out previous day's low, because we actually just missed it in the morning.
Yeah.
And if we end up breaking back above it, then I could flip the bias back to longs, right? So if we do something like that, regardless, I don't want to get short this low, even though exactly like you said, it could work. Like I could get market short.
I could see it taking out these equal lows over there, but
yeah, I definitely can too. But it's just too low for me. So maybe if we get a pullback into this level and I see that we're still respecting it as resistance, I could get short up here for that.
Mm-hmm.
If I miss it, I miss it. But yeah, I like to use lines in the sand like that. So whatever I think the most key level is, just that's how I can keep my short-term directional bias.
Nice. And yeah, it looks like, in the SBS by Stoic, it worked out pretty much perfectly the way, and we called that 11:10 is when I drew it up.
Yeah. You know what? So yeah, draw that out and just explain it one more time, because it actually
pretty much what his whole, like you said, I'm sure like different strategies have different names for the same thing, but it's pretty much this, is like the kind of a high.
Sorry to cut you off, bro, but yeah, our screen. Yeah, guys, I think our screen is just not working. We got 4 minutes left, so it might just be one of those days we've been having some issues with showing our screens. Oh wait, we're good now. We're back on. Okay, go for it. We got.
Okay, so it's pretty much this sequence. It's kind of like a new high, then a pullback, but doesn't break the low of that. It doesn't break the low. A new high after that breaks that high, followed by a little, and this could go anywhere like that, and then to breaking up here. This little part here could happen anywhere as long as it clears that. It could happen further down. So pretty much this is kind of the SBS. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then a break of that high. And obviously you could see it. It could go upside down, whichever way. It could go bearish or bullish. This is.
But I remember when I was listening to him, he was saying that the last leg is the highest probability, right? Because you've now seen the entire sequence, so you have the best chance on that last leg.
Exactly. When you start getting comfortable on it, I've sometimes taken the short from like the 3 down to the 4, kind of catch something like this. once you get comfortable, but that is a more risky play. The best is when you start seeing like up to this much play out, and then I'll put a buy stop like over here.
Yeah.
And I would just wait as prices down here. I'd still have the buy stop just sitting here, and I'd wait. And if it keeps going lower, I'll end up canceling the buy stop. But otherwise, it should activate. So this is the 5 to the 6. That's the most probable because it shows every other sequence worked out. This one should work out right after. See, similar to over here, the 1, 2, 3. If you would have thought this was the 5, you could have got popped if you got in because it pulled back up. But if you waited for that second pull and then got in here, well, this Trump tweet took us out anyway. But
yeah,
it's all about it's about the odds of it happening. So yeah, of course, it's not going to work 100% of the time, of course. But this would have been like kind of my trade. Stopped out on the top, stopped out right there because of that, and then right where we wanted it to go.
I love it, man. All right. I mean, yeah, I guess it's time to cut it off here. Thanks so much for coming on, man.
No, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude. And yeah, please come back anytime for real. We'll get you an account with ASFX. So
awesome.
Next time you can see the chat.
I'd love it.
Guys, remember to follow Ike at it's 4X Ike. You want to plug your socials one more time?
Yeah, it's at 4X Ike on Instagram. I barely am on. It's really mostly on Twitter or X. And a little bit on TikTok, but yeah, follow my YouTube channel for hopefully I'll start one soon. I throw up some shorts on there every now and then also. So, but yeah, it's at 4X Ike at all those socials. Awesome. And feel free to hit me up, ask me any questions. I'm happy to help.
Beautiful. All right, guys. Yeah, that was a great way to end the week for my streams. Remember, we got tomorrow market open. Austin, Evan, James, they'll still be streaming, but I'll be done. I'll make sure to see you guys on Tuesday next week. Until then, happy trading. Stay safe. And yeah, thanks again, Mike. Peace out, bro.
Thanks. Take care, guys.